shall have corn at our own price. Is it verdict?
One word, good citizen.
Oh, we are accounted poor citizens. The patrician, good. I speak this in hunger for bread, not thirst or revenge.
Aye. Would you proceed especially against Caius Marcius?
Marcius!
Consider you what services he has done for his country.
Oh, very well, and would be content to give him a good report for it, but that he pays himself with being proud.
Nay, but speak not maliciously.
Oh, I say unto you, what he hath done famously, he did it to that end. Though soft-conscious men could be content to say it was for his country, he did it to please his violently proud, which he is even till the altitude of his virtue.
When he cannot help in his nature, you account a vice in him. You must in no way say he is covetous.
Oh, if I must not, I need not be bearing in accusations. He hath faults and servals to tire in repetition. Oh, what voices are these? The other half of the city has risen. Why stay we parading yet? To the Capitol! Stop, stop. Who comes here?
Worthy Menenius Agrippa, one that hath always loved the people.
He is one honest enough. Would all the rest were so.
Aye. What works, my countrymen and hands? Where go you with bats and clubs? The matter, speak, I pray you.
Our business is not unknown to the Senate. They have known this fortnight what we intend to do, which now will show them in deeds. They say that poor students have strong breath. We'll show them we have strong arms too.
Masters, my good friends, my honest neighbors, will you undo yourselves?
No, we cannot, sir. We are undone already.
Oh, I tell you, friends, most charitable care have the patricians of you. For your wants, your suffering in this dearth, you may as well strike at heaven with your staves as lift them against the Roman state. For the dearth, the gods, not the patricians, make it. And your knees to them, not arms, must help. Alack! You are transported by calamity. Thither where more attends you, when you slander the helms of the state, who care for you as fathers, when you curse them as enemies.
Oh, care for us. True indeed, they ne'er cared for us yet. Suffer us to famish, while the stores are packed with grain. Make edicts for usurer to support usurers. Usurer, repeal any wholesome acts established against the rich. Make piercing statutes daily, the chain up, and restrain the poor. If this war eats us not up, they will, and that's all the love they bear us.
Either you must confess yourselves wondrous malicious or be accused of folly. I shall tell you a pretty tale. It may be that you have already heard it, but since it serves my purposes, I shall venture to stale it a little more.
Well, I shall hear it, sir, but think not to fob off our disgrace with a tale.
There was a time when all the body's members rebelled against the belly, thus accused that only like a gulf it did remain in the midst of the body, idle and unactive, still covered in the viand, never bearing like labor with all the rest. Where the other instruments, that see and hear, devise, instruct, walk, fear, mutually participate, and administer unto the appetite and affection common to the whole body. The belly answered.
Well, sir, what answer made the belly?
Sir, I shall tell you. With a kind smile, which ne'er came from the lungs, but even thus forth, look you, I may make the belly smile as well as speak. It tauntingly replied to the discontented members, the mutinous parts which envied his receipt. Even so, most fitly as you malign our senators, for that they are not such as you.
Aye, sir, well. But the belly's answer, what?
True is it, my incorporate friends, quoth he, that I do receive the general food at first, whereby you do live upon, and fit it is, because I am the storehouse and shop of the whole body. But, if you do remember, I send it through the rivers of your blood, even to the court, the heart, the seat of the brain, through the cranks and offices of man, the strongest nerve and small inferior vein from me receives that natural competency whereby they do live. And though that all at once, you, my good friends, this says the belly, mark me.
Aye, well.
Though all at once cannot see what I do deliver out to each, yet I'll make my eye that all from me shall back receive the flower of all, and leave me but the brand. What say you to it?
'Tis an answer. How ply you this?
The senators of Rome are this good belly, and you the mutinous members. For examine their counsels and their cares, digest things rightly touching the weal of the common, you shall find no public benefit that you receive, but it proceeds or comes from them to you, and no way from yourselves. What do you think? You, the great toe of this rebellion.
I, the great toe? Why the great toe?
For that being one of the lowest, basest, poorest of this most wise rebellion. Thou goest foremost, thou rascal, that at worst in blood to run, leadest first to win some vantage. Hail, noble Marcius.
Thanks. What's the matter, you desultuous rogues, that rubbing the poor itch of your opinion make yourselves scabs?
We have ever your good word.
He that will give good words to thee will flatter thee beneath abhorring. He that trusts to you, where he should find you lions, finds you hares, where foxes, geese, hang you! Trust you. With every minute you do change your mind. Call him noble that was your hate, him vile that was your garland. What's the matter that in these several places of the city you cry out against a noble senate who, under the gods, should keep you in awe, which else would feed upon one another? What's their seeking?
For corn at their own rates, whereof they say the city is well stored.
Hang them! They say. They would presume to know what's done in the capital. Who's like to rise, who thrives, who declines. Side factions and make conjectural marriages, making parties strong and feebling those that stand not in their liking below their cobbled shoes. They say there's grain enough.
Aye.
Would the nobility put aside their ruth and let me use my sword, I'd make a quarry with 1,000 of these quartered slaves as high as I could pick my lance.
Nay, these are almost thoroughly persuaded, for abundantly they lack discretion, yet they are passing cowardly. But I do beseech you, what says the other troop?
They are dissolved, hang them. They vented their complainings, which being heard and a petition granted them, a strange one to break the heart of generosity and make power look pale. They threw their caps as though they would hang them on the horns of the moon, shouting emulations.
What is granted them?
5 tribunes to defend of their own choice. One's Junius Brutus, Sicinius Volutus, I know not, it's death! It will in time win upon power and throw forth greater themes for insurrections arguing.
This is strange.
Go! Get you home, you fragments!
Sir Caius Marcius,
Here, what's the matter?
the news is, sir, the Volscians are in arms.
I am glad on't, so we shall have means to vent our musty superfluity. See, our best elders.
Marcius, it's true that you have lately told us the Volscians are in arms.
They have a leader, Tullus Aufidius, that will put you to. I sin in envying his nobility, and were I anything but what I am, I would wish me only he.
You have fought together.
Oh, were half the world by the ears and he upon my party, I revolt to make only my wars on him. He is a lion I am proud to hunt.
Then, worthy Marcius, attend upon Cominius to these wars.
It is your former promise.
It is, sir, and I am constant.
Your company to the capital, where I know our greatest friends attend us, lead you on. Right worthy of priority.
Noble Marcius. Hence to your homes! Be gone!
No! Let them follow. The Volscians have much corn. Bring forth the rats to gnaw their garners. Worshipful mutineers, your valor puts well forth.
Was ever man so proud as is this Marcius?
He has no equal.
We were chosen tributes of the people.
Mark to his lip and eye.
Nay, but his taunts.
Being moved, he will not spare to gird the gods.
We mock the modest mood.
The present war's devoured. He has grown too proud to be so valiant.
Such a nature, tickled with good success, disdains the shadow which he treads on at noon. But I do wonder, his insolence can brook to be commanded under committees.
Fame at which he aims, in whom already he's well graced, cannot better be held nor more attained than by a place below the first. For what miscarries shall be the general's fault, though he perform to the utmost of a man, and giddy censure will then cry out of Marcius, "Oh, but if he had borne the business!"
Besides, if things go well, opinion that so sticks on Marcius shall of his demerits rob Cominius.
Well, come, half all Cominius' honors are to Marcius, though Marcius earned them not. And all his faults to Marcius shall be honors, though indeed in aught he merit not.
Let's hence and hear how the dispatch is made, and in what fashion, more than his singularity, he goes upon this present action.
Let's along.
I pray you, daughter, sing, or express yourself in a more comfortable sort. If my son were my husband, I should freelier rejoice in that absence wherein he won honor, than in the embracements of his bed where he would show most love. When yet he was but tender-bodied, and the only son of my womb, when youth and comeliness plucked all gaze his way, when for a day of king's entreaties a mother should not sell him an hour from her beholding, I, considering how honor would become such a person, that it was no better than picture-like to hang by the wall if renown made it not stir, was pleased to let him seek danger where he was like to find fame. To a cruel war I sent him, from whence he returned, his brows bound with oak. I tell thee, daughter, I sprang not more in joy at first hearing he was a man-child, than now in first seeing he had proved himself a man.
But had he died in the business, madam, how then?
Then his good report should have been my son. I therein would have found issue. Hear me profess sincerely, had I a dozen sons, each in my love alike, and none less dear to thee than mine and thine good Marcius, I had rather had 11 die nobly for their country than one voluptuously surfeit out of action.
Madam, Lady Valeria has come to visit you. Pray, give me leave to retire myself.
Oh, indeed you shall not. Methinks I hear hither your husband's drum. See him pluck Aufidius down by the hair like children from a bear, the Volscians shunning him. Methinks I see him stamp thus, and call thus, "Come on, you cowards! You were got in fear, though you were born in Rome!" His bloody brow with his mailed hand then wiping, forth he goes, like to a harvest man that's tasked to mow or all or lose his hire.
All the contagion of the South lay upon you! You shames of Rome! You herd of miles and plagues, blaster you are, that you may infect against the wind a mile! You souls of geese that bear the shapes of men, how have you run from slaves that apes would be, Pluto and hell? All hurt behind, backs red, faces pale with flight and agued fear. Mend and charge home, or by the fires of heaven I will leave the foe and make my wars on you. Look to it. Come on. If we stand together, We will beat them back to their wives as they to us our trenches follow. The gates are open. Now prove good seconds. 'Tis for the followers, not for the flyers that they open. Mark me and do the like!
Foolhardiness, not I.
You ride.
See, they have shut him in.
To the pot I warned him.
Oh, Jupiter, no blood!
Away, you fool! It more becomes a man than gilt his trophy. The breasts of Hecuba, when she did suckle Hector, looked not lovelier than Hector's forehead at Grecian sword, and it spit forth blood at Grecian sword contemning. Till Valeria we are fit to bid her welcome.
The heavens bless my lord from fell Aufidius.
We'll beat Aufidius' head below his knee and tread upon his neck.
My ladies both. Good day to you.
Sweet madam.
I'm glad to see your ladyship.
How do you both? You are manifest housekeepers. What are you sewing here? A fine spot in good faith? How does your little son?
I thank your ladyship. Well, good
He had
madam.
rather see the swords and hear a drum than look upon his schoolmaster.
On my word, his father's son. I'll swear 'tis a very pretty child. On my troth, I looked upon him on Wednesday, half an hour together. Has a confirmed countenance. I saw him run after a gilded butterfly, and when he caught it, he let it go again, and after it again, over and over he comes, catched it again. Or whether his fall enraged him or how it was, he did so set his teeth and tear it. Oh, I'll warrant it how he mimicked it.
Went on's father's moods.
Indeed, la, a noble child.
A crack, madam.
Come, set aside your stitchery. I must have you play idle housewife with me this afternoon.
Indeed, no, good madam. I must not out of doors.
Not out of doors.
She shall. She shall.
I will not. I must not over the threshold till my lord return from the wars.
Fie, you confine yourself most unreasonably. Come, you must go visit the good lady that lies in.
I will wish her speedy strength and visit her with my prayers, but I cannot go thither.
Why, I pray you?
'Tis not to save labor, nor that I have love.
You would be another Penelope. Yet they say all the yarn she spun in Ulysses' absence did but fill Ithaca full of moths. Come, I would your cambric were sensible as your finger, that you would leave pricking it for pity. Come, you shall go with us.
No, good madam, pardon me. Indeed, I will not forth.
In truth, law, go with me, and I'll tell you excellent news of your husband.
Oh, madam, there can be none yet.
Verily, I do not jest with you. There came news from him last night.
Indeed, madam.
In earnest, 'tis true. I heard a senator speak it. Thus it is. The Volscians have an army set forth against whom Cominius, the general, is gone with one part of our Roman power. Your lord is set before their city Corioli. They nothing doubt prevailing, and to make it brief wars. This is true on mine honor. And so, I pray, go with us.
Give me excuse, good madam. I will obey you in everything hereafter.
Oh, leave her alone, dear lady. As she is now, she will but disease our better mirth.
In my troth, I think she would. Well, farewell then. Come, good sweet lady. Prithee, Virgilia, turn thy solemnness out a door and come along with us.
No, out of word, good madam, I must not. I wish you much mirth.
And farewell.
What has become of Marcius?
Slain, sir, doubtless.
Following the flyers at the very heels, with them he enters, who, upon the sudden, clap to their gates. He is himself alone to answer all the city.
A worthy fellow, who sensibly outdares his senseless sword, and when it bows, stands up. Thou art left, Marcius, a carbuncle entire, as big as thou art, were not so rich a jewel. Thou wast a soldier even to Cato's wish, not fierce and terrible only in strokes, but with thy grim looks and the thunder-like percussion of thy sounds, thou madest thine enemies shake, as if the world were fevers and did tremble.
Look, sir!
Who's yonder that does appear as he were flayed? Oh gods! He has the stamp of Marcius! And I have before time seen him thus.
Am I too late?
The shepherd knows not the thunder from a tabor more than I know the sound of Marcius' voice from every meaner man.
Am I too late?
Aye, if thou come not in the blood of others, but mantled in your own.
Let me clip thee in arms that sound as when I walk. Oh, with a heart as merry as when my nuptial day turned to bedward.
How prevailed you?
Will the time serve to tell? I think not. I beseech you. By all the battles wherein we have fought, by the blood that we have shed together, by the vows we have made to stay friends, that presently you direct me against Aufidius and his antites, that we, with swords advanced and darts, may prove this very hour.
Worthy sir, thou bleedest! Thy exercise hath been too violent for a second.
Oh, sir, praise me not! This blood I wear is physical more than dangerous to me. To Aufidius, thus I would appear and fight.
Though I wish you were conducted to a gentle bath and balms applied to, yet I never deny your asking. Take your choice of those that can best aid your action.
Those are they that are most willing. If any such be here, as it were a sin to doubt, that love this painting wherein you see me smeared, that fear lesser his person than an ill report, if any think that brave death outweighs bad life, and that his country is dearer than himself, let so many so-minded, or he alone, wave thus to express his disposition to follow Marcius! Marcius! March on, my fellows! I will fight none but thee, for I do hate thee worse than a promise breaker.
We hate alike. Not that freak owns a serpent I abhor more than thy fame and envy. Fix thy foot.
Let the first butcher die, the other slave, and the gods doom him after.
If I fly, Marcius, follow me. Like a hare.
Within these 3 hours, Tullus, I alone fought within your Coriolan gates, and there I made what work I would. It is not my blood wherein you see me masked, but thy revenge. Wrench up thy power to the highest.
Wert thou the Hector was the whip of thy brag progeny, thou shouldst not escape me here.
You have shamed me in your condemned seconds.
The town is taken. It will be delivered back on good condition.
Condition! I would I were a Roman, for I cannot, being a Volsci, all be that I am. Condition. What good condition can the treaty find in the part that is at mercy? 5 times, Marcius, I have fought with thee. So often hast thou beat me, and shouldst do so, I think, should we encounter as often as we the elements. If e'er again I meet him, beard to beard, he's mine, or I am his. Mine emulation hath not the honor it had, for where I thought to crush him in an equal force, true sword to sword, I'll budget him some way. A wrath or craft may get him.
He's the devil.
Bolder, though not so subtle. My valor's poisoned, with only suffering stained by him, for him shall fly out of itself, be naked, sick, nor fame, nor capital, the prayers of priests, nor times of sacrifice, embarkments, all of fury shall lift up their rotten privilege and custom against my hate to Marcius. Go you to the city, find out who's held and what they are that must be hostages to Rome.
Will not you go?
I am attended at the Cypress Grove. I pray you, 'tis south of the city mill. Send me word thither how the world turns, that to the pace of it I may spur on my journey.
I shall, sir.
If I should tell thee o'er this thy day's work, thou'st not believe thy deeds. But I'll report it, where senators shall mingle tears with smiles, where great patricians shall attend and shrug, in the end admire, where ladies shall be frighted and gladly quaked, hear more, where the dull tribunes who with the fusty plebeians hate thine honors, shall say against their hearts, we thank the gods our Rome hath such a soldier. Camest thou to a morsel of this feast, having fully dined before?
I have wounds upon me. They smart to hear themselves remembered.
Too modest are you. More cruel to your good report than grateful to us who give you truly. By your patience, if against yourself you be incensed, we'll put you like one that means his proper harm, in manacles, then reason safely with you. Therefore, be it known, as to us, to all the world, that Caius Marcius wears this war's garland, in token of the which my noble steed, known to the camp, I give him with all his trim belonging. And from this time, for what he did before Corioli, call him with all the applause and clamor of the host, Caius Marcius Coriolanus.
Caius Marcius Coriolanus.
Bear the addition nobly ever.
I will go wash, and when my face is fair, you shall perceive whether I blush or no. Howbeit, I thank you.
Take it, 'tis yours.
Gods! I, that just refused most princely gifts sent down to beg of my Lord General.
What is?
I lay here some time in Corioli in a poor man's house. He used me kindly. I saw him prisoner. He cried to me, but then Aufidius was within my sights, and wrath overwhelmed my pity. I pray you, give my poor host his freedom.
Oh, well begged. Were he the butcher of my son, he should be as free as is the wind. Deliver him, soldier!
His name, Marcius?
By Jupiter, I forgot. I am weary. My memory is tired. Have we no wine here?
Go we to the camp. The blood upon your visage dries. 'Tis time it should be looked to. Go!
Ah! How now, my fairest noble ladies? In the moon, were she earthly no nobler? Whither you follow your eyes so fast?
Honorable Menenius, my boy, Marcius, approaches. For the love of Judah, let's go.
Marcius coming home.
Ladies, let's go. Yes. The Senate has letters from the general wherein they give my son the whole name of the war. He hath in this action outdone his former deeds double.
In troth, there's wondrous things spoke of him.
Wondrous, I warrant you, and not without his true purchasing.
Will the gods grant them true?
True. How well?
True, I swear that they are true. Ooh, where is he wounded? Where is he wounded?
One in the shoulder, and in the left arm there shall be large cicatrices to show the people when he shall stand for his place. He received in the repulsive target 7 hurts in the body.
Oh, that's 1 in the neck, 2 in the thigh. That's 9 that I know.
He had before this last expedition 25 wounds upon him.
Now it's 27, and every gash was an enemy's grave.
Know, Rome, that all alone did Marcius fight within Corioli gates, where he hath won with fame a name to Caius Marcius. These in honor follows Coriolanus. Welcome to Rome, renowned Coriolanus.
Enough of this. Defends my heart. I pray you no more.
Look, sir, your mother.
Oh, you have, I am sure, prayed to all the gods for my prosperity.
Nay, my good soldier. Up. Gentle Marcius. Worthy Caius. And by deed achieving honor newly named. What is it?
Coriolanus.
Coriolanus must I call thee. Oh, but thy wife.
My gracious silence hand. Wouldst thou have laughed to see me coffined home, that weeps to see me in triumph? Ay, my dear, such eyes the widows in Corioli wear, and mothers that lack sons.
Now the gods crown thee.
I have lived to see inherited my very wishes and the buildings of my fancy. Only there's one thing wanting, which I doubt not but our Rome shall cast upon me.
No, good mother. I'd rather be their servant in my way than sway with them in theirs.
On to the capital!
Come, they're almost here. How many stand for consulships?
3 they say, but just thought of all Coriolanus will carry it.
That's a brave fellow, but he's vengeance proud and loves not the common people.
There have been many great men that flattered the people who ne'er loved them. And there be many who love them, they know not wherefore, so that if they love them, they know not why they hate upon no better ground. Therefore, for Coriolanus, neither to care whether they love or hate him, manifests the true knowledge he has in their disposition, and out of his noble carelessness lets them plainly see.
If he did not care whether he had their love or no, he waved indifferently twixt doing them neither good nor harm. But he seeks their hate with greater devotion than can render him, and leaves nothing undone that may fully discover him their opposite. Now, to seem to affect the malice and displeasure of the people is as bad as that which he dislikes, to flatter them for their love.
He hath deserved nobly of his country, and his ascent is not by such easy degrees as those who, having been courteous and civil to the people, bonneted without any further deed, to have them at their estimation and report. For their tongues to be silent and not confess it were a kind of ingrateful injury. To report otherwise were a malice. Their giving itself the lie would pluck reproof and rebuke from any ear that heard it.
No more of him. He is a worthy man.
All tongues speak of him, and the bleared sights are bespectacled to see him. Your young nurse into a rapture lets her baby cry while she chats him, and the kitchen malkin pins her richest lockroom about her reechy neck, clamoring the walls to eye him.
On the sudden, I warrant him consul.
Now then our office maid, during his power, goes sleep.
He cannot temperately transport his honors from where he should begin and end, but will lose those he hath won.
Now in that there's comfort.
Doubt not the commoners for whom we stand. But they, upon their ancient malice, will forget with the least cause these his new honors, which that he will give them, make I as little question as he is proud to do it.
I heard him swear were he to stand for counsel, never would he appear in the marketplace, nor on him put the napless vesture of humility, nor showing, as the manner is, his wounds to the people, and beg their stinking breath.
'Tis right.
Where 'twas his word. Oh, he would miss it rather than carry it, but by the suit of the gentry to him, and the desire of the nobles.
I wish no better than to have him hold that purpose and to put it in execution.
Or 'tis most like he will.
It shall be to him then, as our goodwills, a sure destruction.
So it must fall out, to him or our authorities. For an end, we must suggest the people in what hatred he still hath held them, that to his power he would have made them mules, silenced their pleaders, dispropertied their freedoms, holding them in human action and capacity of no more voice than camels in the war, who have their provand only for bearing burdens, and sore blows for sinking under them.
This, as you say, suggested at some time when his soaring insolence shall touch the people, which time shall not want if he be put upon it, and that's as easy as to set dogs on sheep, will be his fire to kindle their dry stubble, and their blaze shall darken him forever.
What's the matter?
You are sent for to the capital. 'Tis thought that Marcius shall be consul. I have seen the dumb men throng to see him, and the blind to hear him speak. Matrons flung gloves, ladies and maids their scarves and handkerchiefs upon him as he passed. The nobles bended as to Jove's statue, and the commons made a shower and a thunder with their claps and shouts. I never saw the like.
Well, let's to the capital, and carry with us ears and eyes for the time, but hearts for the event.
Have with you.
As the main point of this our after meeting, to gratify his noble service that hath thus stood for his country. Therefore, please you, most reverend and grave elders, desire present consul and the last general of our well-found successes, to report a little of the worthy work performed by Caius Marcius Coriolanus, whom we met here both to thank and to remember with honors like himself.
Masters of the people, we do request your kindest ears, and after your loving motion toward the common body, to yield what passes here.
We are convented upon a pleasing treaty, and have hearts inclinable to honor and advance the theme of our assembly.
Which the rather we shall be blessed to do, if he remember a kinder value to the people than he hath hereto prized them.
Oh, stay, Coriolanus. Never shame to hear what you have nobly done.
Your Honor's pardon. I would rather have my wounds to heal again than hear say how I got them.
Sir, I hope my words disbenced you not.
No, sir. Yet oft when blows have made me stay, I fled from the words.
I shall lack voice. The deeds of Coriolanus should not be uttered feebly. It is held that valor is the chiefest virtue. If it be, the man I speak of cannot in the world be singly counterpoised. At 16 years, when Tarquin made a head for Rome, he fought beyond the mark of others. Where he might act the woman in the scene, he proved best man in the field, and for his meed was brow bound with the oak. His pupil age man entered thus, he waxed like a sea, and in the brunt of 17 battles since, he lurched all swords of the garland. For this last, before and in Corioli, let me say, I cannot speak him home. He stopped the flyers, and by his rare example, made the coward turn terror into sport. As weeds before a vessel under sail, so men obeyed and fell below his stem. His sword, death's stamp. Where it did mark, it took. From face to foot, he was a thing of blood, whose every motion was timed with dying cries. Alone he entered the mortal gate of the city, which he painted with shunless destiny, aidless came off, and with a sudden reinforcement struck Corioli like a planet, until we called both field and city ours. He would not stop to ease his breast with panting.
Worthy man, he cannot but with measures fit the honors we have devised him.
Our spoils he kicked at, and he looked upon things precious as if they were the common muck of the world. He covets less than misery itself would give, rewards his deeds with doing them, and is content to spend the time to end it.
He's right noble. Let him be called for.
Call Coriolanus.
He doth appear.
The Senate, Coriolanus, is well pleased to make thee consul.
I do owe them still my life and services.
It then remains that you do speak to the people.
I beseech you, let me o'erleap that custom. I cannot put on a gown, stand naked, and entreat them for my wound's sake to give me their suffrage.
Sir, the people must have their voices.
It is a part I shall blush in playing, and might well be taken from the people.
Mark you that?
To brag unto them, thus I did, and thus show them my wounds which I should hide, as if I got them for the hire of their breaths only.
Do not stand upon it. We recommend to you, tribunes to the people, our purpose to them, and to our noble consul, wish we all joy and honor.
To Coriolanus come all joy and honors.
See how he intends to use the people?
May they perceive his intent. He will require them, as if he did contend what he requested should be in them to give.
Well, let's inform them of our proceedings here. On the marketplace, I know they do attend us.
Once, if he shall have our voices, we ought not to deny him.
We may, sir, if we will.
We have power in ourselves to do it, but it is a power that we have no power to do. For if you show us his wounds and tell us his deeds, we are to put our tongues into those wounds and speak for them. And if he tell us his noble deeds, we must tell him of our noble acceptance of them. Ingratitude is monstrous, and for the multitude to be ungrateful, or to make a monster of the multitude, of the which we, being members, should bring ourselves to be monstrous members.
Yea, and to think us no better thought of, a little help will serve. For once we stood him about the corn, and he himself thought to call us the many-headed multitude.
Oh, we have been called so of many. Not that our heads are some brown, some black, some auburn, some bald, but that our wits are so diversely colored. Truly, I think if all of our wits were to issue out of one skull, they would fly east, west, north, south, and their consent to one direct way would all at once be at all points of the compass.
Aye.
Think you so? Which way do you judge my wit would fly?
Nay, your wit will not so soon as another man's. 'Tis too strongly wedged up a block. but, if it were at liberty, 'twould sure southward.
Why that way?
Why to lose itself in a fog, where, being 3 parts melted away by rotten dew, the 4th would return for conscience sake to help get thee a wife.
You're never without your tricks. You may.
Are you all resolved to give your voices?
Resolved.
But 'tis no matter. The better part carries it. I say, if he were to incline to the people, there was never a worthier man. But look, here he comes, and in his gown of humility, mark his behavior.
What must I say to them? I pray you, sir, plague upon it. Look, sir, my wounds, I got them for my country's sake, when some certain of your brethren roared and ran from the sound of our own cannons.
Oh, me the gods, you must not speak of that. You must desire them to think upon you.
Think upon me?
Hang it. You'll mar all. Pray you. I'll leave you. Speak to them. Pray you in wholesome manner.
Here comes the grace. Do you know the purpose, sir, of my standing here?
We do, sir. And what hath brought to it?
Mine own desert.
Your own desert?
Aye, but not my own desire.
How not your own desire?
No, sir. It was never my desire to trouble the poor with begging.
Well, sir, if you must think, if we are to give you anything, we hope to gain by you.
Well, I pray your price of the consulship.
The price is to ask it kindly.
Kindly? I pray, sir, let me have it. I have wounds to show you, which shall be yours in private. Your good voice, sir. What say you?
You shall have, worthy sir.
A match, sir. Well, there's 2 worthy voices begged. I have your alms ado.
This is something odd.
Were to give again, but it's no matter.
If it may stand to the tune of your voices that I may be consul, I have here the customary gown.
You have deserved nobly of your country. And you have not deserved nobly.
Your enigma?
You have been a scourge to her enemies. You have been a rod to her friends. You have not indeed loved the common people.
Ah, you should account me the more virtuous, but I have not been common with my love. Indeed, I may be consul.
We hope to find you our friend, and therefore give you our voices heartily.
You have received many wounds for your country.
I will not seal your knowledge by showing them. I will make much of your voices, and so trouble you no further.
God give you joy, sir, heartily.
Worthy voices! Better it is to die. Better it is to starve than to crave the higher of what we do deserve. Why should I in wolvish togue stand here to beg of Hob and Dick that do appear their needless vouches. Custom calls me to't, and what custom wills in all things we should do. The dust on antique time would lie unswept, and mountainous error be too highly heaped for truth to appear. Rather than fool it so, let the high office and the honor go to one who would do thus. I am half through. The one part suffered, the other I will do. Ah, more voices. Your voices! For your voices I have fought, watched for your voices. Of wounds 24 I bear for your voices. For your voices, thrice 6 battles have I seen. Indeed, I would be consul.
He hath done nobly, and cannot go without any honest man's voice.
Therefore, let him be consul. Gods give him joy and make him good friend to the people.
Worthy voices.
You have stood your limitation.
Is this done?
The custom of request you have discharged. People do admit you and are summoned to meet anon upon your approbation.
Where? The Senate House?
There, Coriolanus.
May I change these garments?
You may, sir.
That I will do straight, and when I am myself again, repair to the Senate House.
I'll keep you company. Will you along?
We stay here for the people.
Very well. He has it now. By his looks, methinks 'tis warm at his heart.
And with a proud heart he wore his humble weed. Will you dismiss the people?
How now, my masters? Does this man have your voice?
He has our voices, sir.
We pray the gods he may well deserve your loves.
Amen, sir. To my poor unworthy notice, he mocked us when he begged our voices.
Certainly, he flouted us downright.
No, 'tis the way he speaks. He did not mock us.
Not one amongst us, save yourself, but says he used us scornfully. He should have showed his marks of merit. Wounds received for his country.
Why, so he did, I'm sure.
He said he had wounds, which he would show in private.
Right.
And with his hat thus waving it in scorn, I would be consul, says he. Aged custom, but by your voices, your most noble voices, will not so permit me your voices, therefore. And when we did grant him that, here was, I thank you for your voices, your most noble voices, I thank you, your most sweet voices. I have your voices, I have no further with you. Was not this mockery?
Either were you ignorant to see it, or seeing it of such childish friendliness to yield your voices.
Did you not perceive he did solicit you in free contempt when he did need your loves?
Yes.
And do you think that his contempt shall not be bruising to you when he hath power to crush? Why? Had your bodies no heart among you? Or had you tongues to cry against the rectorship of judgment?
Have you ere now denied the asker? And now again, of him that did not ask, but mock, bestow your suit for tongues?
He's not confirmed, we may deny him yet.
And will deny him. I'll have 500 voices to that sound.
Twice 500 and their friends into peace.
Get you hasten still and tell those friends they have chosen counsel that will take from them their liberties. Make them of no more voice than dogs that are as often beat for barking as are therefore kept to do so. Let them go on. This mutiny were better put in hazard than stay past doubt for greater. If, as his anger, as his nature is, he fall in rage at their refusal, both observe and answer the vantage of his anger.
Come to the capital. We will be there before the stream of the people, and this shall seem as partly 'tis their own, which we have goaded onward.
Behold, the tribunes of the people, the tongues of the common mouth. I do despise them. For they do prank them in authority against all noble sufferance.
Pass no further.
Huh. What is that?
It will be dangerous to go on. No further.
What makes this change?
The matter, hath he not passed the noble and the common?
Cominius, no.
Have I had children's voices?
Tribunes, give way. He shall to the marketplace.
The people are incensed against him.
Stop, or all will fall in broil.
Are these not your herd? Have you not set them on?
Be calm, be calm.
No, it is a purposed thing, and it grows by plot to curb the will of the nobility. Suffer it, and live with such as cannot rule, nor ever will be ruled.
Called not a plot, the people cry you mock them. And of late when corn was given them gratis, you repine. You scandal the suppliants for the people, called them time pleasers, flatterers, foes to nobleness.
Well, all this was known before.
Not to them all.
Oh, you have informed them, Sedence.
How I informed them?
Who would be like to do such business?
Let's be calm.
The people are abused, set on. This paltering becomes not Rome, nor hath Coriolanus deserved this so dishonored rub, laid falsely in the plain way of his marriage.
Tell me of corn. It was my speech. I'll speak again.
Not now, not now.
Not in this heat.
Nor as I live, I will. My nobler friends, I beg your pardons. For the mutable and rank-scented many, let them regard me as I do not flatter, and therein behold themselves. I say again, in soothing them, we nourish against our Senate the cockle of rebellion, insolence, sedition, which we have ourselves plowed for, sowed, and scattered by mingling them with us. The honored number, who lack not virtue nor power than that which they have given unto beggars.
Well, no more.
No more words, we beseech.
No, as I, for my country, I shed my blood, so shall my lungs coin words till their decay against those measles which we disdain should tether us, and yet sought the very means to catch.
You speak of the people as if you were a god to punish and not a man of their infirmity.
Where well we let the people know it.
What? What, his collar?
Collar. Were I as patient as midnight sleep, by Jove, 'twould be my mind.
It is a mind that shall remain a poison where it is, not poison any further.
Shall remain. Hear you this Triton of the minnows. Mark you his absolute shall.
'Twas from the canon.
Shall. Oh, you grave but most unwise patricians, you good but reckless senators, they are the senators, you the plebeians, they are no less. When your voices combine the greatest taste, most palates theirs. They choose their magistrate. It makes the consul base, and my soul aches. Whoever gave that order to give the corn of the storehouse gratis, as was used sometime in Greece.
Oh, well, no more.
Though there the people had more absolute power. I say they nourished disobedience and fed the ruin of that state.
Why should the people give one that speaks thus their voice?
I'll give my reasons more worthier than their voices. They know the corn was not our recompense, knowing quite well they ne'er did service for it. Being i' the war, even when the navel of our state was touched, they would not thread the gates. This kind of service does not deserve corn gratis. Being i' the war, wherein their mutinies and revolts they showed most valor, spoke not for them. The accusation they have often made against the Senate, all cause unborn, could never be the motive of our so frank donation. Well, what then? How shall this bosom multiplied be answered? Will let deeds express what's like to be their words? We did request it. We are the greater Pole, and in their fears, they gave us our demands. Thus, we debase the nature of our seats, and make the rabble call our cares fears, which will in time break off the locks of the Senate and bring in crows to peck the eagles.
Come, enough!
Yeah, enough with overmeasure.
No! Take more! This double worship, where one side disdains the cause, the other insults without all reason, where gentry, title, and wisdom cannot conclude but by the yea or no of general ignorance, it must omit real necessity, and in time give way to unstable slightness. Purpose so barred it follows nothing is to purpose. At once pluck out the multitudinous tongue. Let them not lick the poison that is their sweet. Your dishonors mangle true judgment and bereave the state of the integrity that should become it, not having the power to do the good it would for the ill which now control it.
Has said enough.
Has spoken like a traitor, and will answer as traitors do.
Thou wretch, despite o'erwhelm thee. What should the people do with these bold tribunes? In a better hour, let meat be said it must be meat, and throw their power in the dust.
Oh, manifest treason!
This a consul? No.
Down with him. Hence, old ghost.
We'll surety him.
Officer, apprehend!
Hence, down.
Your liberty.
Yes.
Marcius would have all from you. Marcius, whom late you have named for consul.
Fie, this is the way to kindle, not to quench.
To build the city and lay all flat.
What is the city but the people?
The people are the city!
Accept of all! We were established the people's magistrate!
And you shall remain!
And so are like to do.
This is the way to lay the city flat! To bring the roof to the foundation and bury all which yet distinctly ranges in heaps and piles of ruin.
This deserves death.
But let us stand to our authority or let us lose it.
Yes.
We hereby pronounce on the part of the people, on whose power we were elected theirs, Marcius as worthy of present death.
Hear me but one word. Be that you seem truly your country's friends and proceed temperately to what you would thus violently redress.
Sir, these cold waves that seem like prudent helps are very poisonous when the disease is violent! So, lay hands upon him! Carefully, and bear him to the rock!
To the rock! To the rock!
I'll die here. There are those among you who have seen me fight. Come, try yourselves upon what you have seen me.
Down with that sword. Tribunes, withdraw a while.
Seize him!
No, go, get you to our houses. Be gone, away.
I prithee, noble friend, home to thy house. Leave us to cure this cause.
What is a sore upon us who cannot tend yourselves? Be gone, beseech you. Put not that worthy rage into your tongue. One time will owe another.
On a fair field, I could fight 40 of them.
I could myself pick up a brace of the best of them. But now it is odds against arithmetic. And manhood is called folly when it stands against a falling fabric.
Pray, be gone. I'll try whether my old would be in request for those that have but little. The just must be patched with cloth of any color. Here's goodly work.
I thought they were a bag.
I would they were entitled. But the vengeance could not speak them fair.
Where is this viper that would depopulate the city and be every man himself?
You worthy tribunes.
He will be thrown from the rock Tarpeian with rigorous hands. And therefore law shall scorn him further trial than the severity of the public power
noble tribunes are our mouths, and we their hands.
Do not cry havoc where you should but hunt with modest wars.
Sir, how comes it that you have hoped to make this rescue?
Hear me speak.
Okay, speak briefly then. For we are peremptory to dispatch this viperous traitor. To eject him hence were but one danger, and to keep him here, our certain death. Therefore it is decreed he dies tonight!
But God forbid that our renowned Rome, whose gratitude towards her deserving children is enrolled in Jove's own book, now like an unnatural dam she must eat up her own.
He's a disease that must be cut away.
Oh, a limb that has but a disease, mortal to cut it off, to cure it, easy. What has he done to Rome that is worthy of death? Killing our enemies? The blood he hath lost, which I dare vouch, is more than that he hath by many an ounce. He dropped it for his country. And what is left to lose it by his country, or to us all that suffer it and do it a brand to the end of the world?
This is clean chaos.
Really arise when he loved his country and honored him.
The surface of the foot being once gangrened is not then respected for what before it was.
We'll hear no more. Pursue him to his house instantly, and pluck him thence, lest his infection being of catching nature spread further.
One more. This tiger-footed rage, when it shall find the harm and unscanned swiftness, will too late tie leaden pounds to his heels. Proceed by process, lest parties as he is beloved break out and sack great Rome with Romans.
If it were so.
Oh, what do ye talk? Have we not had a taste of his obedience?
Consider this. He hath been bred in the war since he could draw a sword, and is ill-schooled in bolted language. Meal and bran together he throws without distinction. Give me leave. I'll go to him and shall bring him unto where he shall answer in lawful form, in peace, to his utmost peril.
Noble tribute, it is the humane way. The other course would prove too bloody, and the end of it unknown to the beginning.
Noble Menenius, be you then as the people's officer. Masters, lay down your weapons.
Go not home.
Meet on the marketplace. We'll attend you there, where, if you bring not Marcius, we'll proceed in our first way.
I will bring him to you, or what is worst will follow.
This man has marred his fortune.
His nature is too noble for this world. He would not flatter Neptune for his trident, or Jove for powers to thunder. His heart's his mouth, and what his chest forges, that must his tongue vent. In being angry, does forget that ever he heard the name of death.
Pray you, let's to him.
Why did you wish me milder? Would you have me false to my nature, rather say I play the man I am?
Oh, sir, I would have had you put your power well on before you had worn it out.
Let go.
Come, you have been too rough, something too rough. You must return and mend it.
There is no remedy, unless by not doing so our good city cleave in the midst and perish.
Pray be counseled. I have a heart as little apt as yours, but yet a brain that leads my use of anger to better vantage.
Well, what must I do?
Return to the tribunes.
Well, what then? What then?
Repent what you have spoke.
To them? I could not do it to the gods. Must I then do it to them?
You are too absolute. Though therein you can never be too noble, but when extremities speak. I have heard you say, honor and policy, like unsevered friends in the war, do grow together. Grant that, and tell me, in peace would each of them by the other lose what they combine not there.
Tush.
A good demand.
If it be honor in your wars to seem the same you are not, which for your best ends you adopt your policy, how is it less, or worse, that they shall find companionship in peace with honor as in war, since that's a both that stands in like request?
Why force you this?
Because that now it lies you want to speak to the people, not by your own instruction, nor by the matter which your heart prompts you, but with such words that are but rooted in thy tongue, though but bastards and syllables of no allowance to thy bosom's truth. Now this no more dishonors you at all than to take in a town with gentle words, which else would put you to your fortune in the hazard of much blood. I would dissemble with my nature, where my fortunes and my friends at stake required I should do so in honor. I am in this, your wife, your son, these senators, the nobles, and you will rather show our general louts how you can frown Then spend a fawn upon them for the inheritance of their loves and the safeguard of what that want might ruin.
Noble lady, come, go with us. Speak fair. You may solve so, not when this danger is present, but the loss of what is past.
I prithee now, my son, go to them, with this bonnet in thy hand, and thus far having stretched it, here be with them. Thy need busting the stones, for in such business action is eloquence, and the eyes of the ignorant more learned than the ears. And say to them, thou art their soldier, and being bred in broils hast not the soft way, which thou dost confess were fit for thee to use as they to claim in asking their good loves. But thou shalt frame thyself, forsooth, hereafter theirs, so far as thou hast power and person.
It's but done. Even as she speaks, why their hearts were yours, for they have pardoned being asked as words to little purpose.
Prithee now go and be ruled, although I know thou hadst rather follow thine enemy in a fiery gulf than flatter him in a bower. Here is Cornelius.
I've been in the marketplace, and, sir, 'tis fit you make strong party, or defend yourself by calmness or by absence. All's in anger.
Only fair speech.
I think 'twill serve, if he can thereto frame his spirit.
Oh, he must, and will. Prithee now say you will, and go about it.
Must I go show them my unbarbed sconce? Must I, with a base tongue, give my noble heart a lie that it must bear? Well, I'll do't. Though were there but this single plot to lose, this mold of Marcius, they to dust should grind it and throw it against the wind. You have put me now to such a part which never I shall play to the full.
Come, come, we'll prompt you.
Prithee now, sweet son, as thou hast said, my praises made thee first a soldier. So, to have my praise for this, perform a part thou hast not done before.
Well, I must do it. Away my disposition, and possess me with some harlot's spirit. My throat of war, which often quired with my drum, be turned into a pipe as small as an eunuch. Or the virgin voice make motion through my lips. My armed knees, who bowed but in his stirrup, bend like his that hath received an alms. I will not do it, lest I surcease to honor mine own truth, and by my body's action give my mind a most inherent baseness.
At thy choice, then. To beg of thee, it is my more dishonor than thou of them. Come all to ruin. Let thy mother rather feel thy pride than fear thy dangerous stoutness, for I mock at death with as big heart as thou. Do as thou list. Thy valiantness was mine. Thou suck'st it from me, but owe thy pride to thyself.
Peace, mother. I am going. Chide me no more. I'll mountebank their hearts, cog their loves from them, and come home beloved of all the trades of Rome. Look, I'm going. I will return home, Consul, or never trust my tongue in the forms of flattery further.
Do your will.
Away, tribunes to attend you, and prepare yourself to answer mildly, for they are armed with accusations, as I hear, more strong than are upon you yet.
Well, the word is mildly. Let them charge me with their inventions. I will answer with mine honor.
Aye, but mild.
Well, mildly be it then! Mildly.
In this point charge him home, that he affects tyrannical power, and if he evade us there, then enforce him with his envy to the people. Huh? And what, will he come?
He's coming.
Assemble presently the people hither, and when they bear me say, it shall be so, in the right and strength of the commons, be it either for death, for fine, or banishment, then let them, if I say fine, cry fine. If death, cry death. In insisting on the old prerogative and power and the truth of the cause.
I shall inform them.
And when such time they have begun to cry, let them not cease, but with the din confused, enforce the present execution of what we chance to sentence.
Very well.
You make them be strong and ready for this hint when we shall have to give it them.
Go about.
Well, here he comes.
To the rock.
Draw near, you people.
This is your tribute.
To the rock. 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 To the rock.
Shall I be charged no further than the present? Shall all be determined here?
I do demand, if you submit you to the people's voices, allow their officers, and are content to suffer lawful censures for such faults that shall be proved upon you.
I am content.
We charge you that you have contrived to take from Rome all seasoned office, and to wind yourself into a power tyrannical, for which you are a traitor to the people.
All the fires of the fullest hell fold in upon the people. Thou injurious tribune, within thine eyes are 20,000 deaths. In thy hand clenched as many millions. In thy lying tongue both as numbers. Still I would say thou liest, with a tongue as free as I do praise the gods.
Mark you this, people! Peace. We need not put new matter to his charge. What you have seen him do and heard him speak, beating your officers, cursing yourself, opposing laws with strokes, and here defying those whose great power must try him. Even this, so criminal and of such capital kind, deserves the extremest death.
But since he hath served well for the people,
what do you prate of service?
I talk of that know it.
You!
Is this the promise you made your mother?
Know this, I pray.
I know no further. Let them pronounce Tarpeian death.
In the name of the people, and in the power of us the tribunes, we, even from this instant, banish him our city, in from all the wrong Tarpeian, never more to enter our Rome gates. In the people's name I say, it shall be so! 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 It shall be so!
And here remain in your uncertainty. Let every feeble rumor shake your heart. Your enemies, nodding of their bloom, ban you in despair. Have power still to banish your defenders, despising for you the city. Thus I turn my back. There is a world elsewhere.
The people's enemy is gone! He's gone!
To the Roman fold in the gates!
To the gates!
I'll bring this to our tribunes!
with many heads bats me away. Mother, nay, where is your ancient courage? You were like to say, extremity is the trier of spirits.
Oh heavens, oh heavens.
No, prithee, woman.
Now the red pestilence strike all trades in Rome and occupations perish.
What? I shall be loved when I am lack. Nay, mother, do not droop. Farewell, wife, farewell, my mother. I'll do well yet. Thou old and true Menenius, thy tears are saltier than a younger man's. 'Tis fond to wail at inevitable strokes as 'tis to laugh at them. Mother, you know what well my hazards still have been your solace. And for your son, believe it, oh, believe it. Though I go alone, like to a lonely dragon that makes his fen feared and talked of more than seen, so shall your son or exceed the common, or be caught by cautelous baits and practices.
My first son, whither wilt thou go?
Oh, the gods!
I'll follow thee a month, devise with thee where thou shalt rest, that thou mayst hear of us and we of thee. So, should time thrust forth a cause for thy repeal, we should not send o'er the vast world to seek a single man.
Fare thee well. Thou hast too many years upon thee, and art too full of the war surfeits to go with one who's yet unbruised. Bring me but at gate. Come, my sweet wife, my dearest mother, and my friends of noble touch. When I am forth, bid me but farewell, and smile. While I remain above the ground, so shall you hear of me, and never of me aught but what was like me formerly.
That's worthily as any ear can hear. Come, let's not weep. Oh, if I could shake off but 7 years from these old arms and legs, by the gods, I'd whip thee every foot.
Come.
Bid them all home. He's gone and will no further. The nobility are vexed, whom we see have sided in his behalf.
When now we have shown our power, let us seem humbler after it is done than when it was a-doing.
Bid them home and say their great enemy's gone, and they stand in their ancient strength.
Dismiss them home. Here comes his mother.
Oh, let's not meet her.
Why?
They say she's mad.
Up, they have taken note of us. Keep on your way.
Oh, you well met! The horde and plague of the gods requite your love!
Peace, be not so
If that I could forbid me, you should hear. Nay, you shall hear some. Will you be gone?
And you shall say too. And would I had the power to say so to my husband. Are you mankind?
I, fool! Is that a shame? Note but this fool was not a man, my father. Hast thou fox ship to banish him that struck more blows for Rome than thou hast spoken words?
Oh, blessed heaven.
More noble blows than ever thou wise words. And for Rome's good. I'll tell thee what. Yet go. Nay, but thou shalt stay, too. I would my son were in Arabia, and thy tribe before him, his good sword in his hand.
What then? What then? He'd make an end to thy posterity.
Bastards and all! Good man, the wounds that he does bear for Rome!
Come, peace.
I would he had continued to his country as he began, and not omit himself the noble nod he made.
I would he had.
I would he had! 'Twas you incensed the rabble. Cats that can judge as fitly of his worth as I can of those mysteries which heaven will not have earth to know.
Now pray, let us go.
Now pray, sir, get you gone. You have done a brave deed. Ere you go, hear this. As far as doth the capital exceed the meanest house in Rome, so far my son, this lady's husband here, this, do you see, whom you have banished does exceed you all.
Well, we'll leave you.
Why stay we to be baited with one that wants her wits?
Take my prayers with you. I would the gods had nothing else to do but to confirm my curses. Could I meet him but once a day, it would unclog my heart of what lies heavy to it.
You have told them home. By my troth, you have cause. You'll sup with me?
Anger's my meat. I sup upon myself, and so will starve with feeding. Come, let's go. Leave this fate puling and lament as I do in anger. Juno-like. Come!
Fine.
I know you well, sir. Your name, I think, is Adrian.
It is so, sir. Truly I have forgot you.
I am a Roman, but my services are, as you are, against him. Know you me yet?
No.
The same, sir.
Well, what's the news in Rome? I have a note from the Volscian state to find you out there. You have well saved me a day's journey.
There have been in Rome some strange insurrections. The people against the senators, patricians, and nobles.
Hath been? Is it ended then? Our state thinks not so. They are in a most warlike preparation and hope to come upon them in the heat of their division.
The main blaze of it is past, but any small thing would make it flame again. For the nobles have received it so to heart the banishment of their worthy Coriolanus, and are in a ripe aptness to take all of the power from the people and pluck from them their tribunes forever. This lies glowing, I can tell you, and is almost ready for that violent breaking out.
Coriolanus banished?
Banished, sir.
You will be welcome with this news and intelligence, Nicanor.
The day serves well for them now. I have heard it said that the fittest time to corrupt man's wife is when she's had a falling out with her husband. Your Tullus Aufidius will do well to appear in these wars, his great opposer, Coriolanus, being in now no request of his country.
You cannot choose.
I shall, between this and supper, tell you of most strange things in Rome, all tending to the good of their noble adversaries. You have an army ready yet, say you?
Most royal one. The centurions and their charges distinctly billeted, already in the entertainment, and to be on foot at an hour's warning.
I am glad to hear of their readiness, and am the man, I think, that would do well to set them in their present action. I'm heartily well met, and would be glad of your company.
Well, let us go together.
A goodly city is this Antium. City, 'tis I that made thy widows. Many an heir of your fair edifices, for my wars I have heard groan and drop. Then, city, know me not, lest thy wives with spits and boys with stones and puny battle slay me.
What is this, fellow? What are you doing here, fellow? Pray you move off from this house.
Let
Boy,
me but stand, I will not hurt your hearth.
What are you?
A gentleman.
Modestly poor one.
True, so I am.
Well, pray you, poor fellow, move to some other station. This is not yours. Pray you, boy, come.
I follow your function. Go and batten on cold bits.
I will go tell my master what strange guest he has here.
A goodly house. The feast smells well, though I appear not like a guest.
Where is this fellow?
He is here, sir. I had beaten him like a dog, but for disturbing the lords within.
Whence camest thou? What wouldst thou? Thy name? Why speak'st not? Speak, man, what's thy name?
If, Tullus, thou knowest me not, and seeing me cannot think me for the man I am, necessity commands me name myself.
What is thy name?
A name unmusical to Volscian ears and harsh in tune to thine.
Say, what's thy name? Thou hast a grim appearance. Thy face bears a command hint, and though thy tackle's torn, thou hast a noble vessel. What is thy name?
Prepare thy brow to frown. Knowest thou me yet?
I know thee not.
Thy name?
My name is Caius Marcius, who hath done to thee particularly and all Volsci's great hurt and mischief, thereto witness may my surname, Coriolanus. The painful service, the extreme dangers, and the drops of blood shed for my thankless country are requited but with that surname. A good memory, and a witness of the malice and displeasure that thou shouldst bear me, only that name remains. The cruelty and envy of the people permitted by our dastard Romans, who have all forsook me, hath devoured the rest, and suffered me by the voice of slaves to be whooped out of Rome. Now this extremity hath brought me to thy hearth, not out of hope. Mistake me not to save my life. For if I had feared death of all the men of the world, I would have avoided thee. But in mere spite, to be full quit my banishers, stand I before thee here. Then if thou hast a heart of wreak in thee, and would revenge thine own particular wrongs, and stop those maims of shame seen through thy country, speed thee straight, and use my misery to serve thy turn. So use it, that my revengeful services may be as benefits to thee, for I will fight against my cankered country with the spleen of all the under-fiends. But if be so, thou darest not this, and that to prove more fortunes thou art tired, then, in a word, I too am longer to live, most weary, and present my throat to thee, and to thy ancient malice, which not to cut would show thee but a fool, since ever I have followed thee with hate, drawn tons of blood from out thy country's breast, and cannot live but to thy shame, unless it be to do thee service.
Marcius. Marcius. Each word thou hast spoke hath weeded from my heart a root of ancient envy. If Jupiter himself should from yon cloud speak divine things and say, "'Tis true," I'd not believe him more than thee, all noble Marcius. Let me twine mine arms around that body, where against the cool ash 100 times hath shook and scarred the moon with splinters. Here. I clip the anvil of my sword. Where? And do contest as hotly and as nobly with thy love, as ever in ambitious strength I did contend against thy valor. Now, know thou first, I loved the maid I married. Never man sighed truer breath, but that I see thee here, thou wondrous thing, more dances my rapt heart than when first my wedded mistress saw bestride my threshold. Why, thou Mars? I tell thee, we have a power on foot, and I had purpose once more to hew thy target from thy brawn, or lose mine arm for it.
Thou hast beat me out 12 several times, and I have nightly since dreamt of encounters twixt thyself and me. We've been down together in my sleep, in buckling helms, fisting each other's throat, and waked, half dead, with nothing. Oh, noble Marcius, we had no quarrel else for Rome, but that thou art thence banished. We would muster all, from 12 to 70, and pouring war into the bowels of ungrateful Rome like a bold flood or a bear. Oh, come, go in, and take our friendly senators by the hands who now are here, taking their leaves of me, who am prepared against your territories, though not for Rome itself.
Oh, you bless me, gods!
Therefore, most absolute sir, if thou wilt have the leading of thine own revenges, take the one half of my commission and set down. For, best, thou art experienced, since thou knowest thy country's strength and weakness, thine own ways, whether to knock against the gates of Rome, or rudely visit them in parts remote, to fright them ere destroy. But come, let me commend thee to those that shall say yea to thy desires. 1,000 welcomes, and more a friend than e'er an enemy. Though Marcius, that was much. Your hand, most welcome.
Oh, here's a strange alteration. I'd have thought to beat him with a cudgel with my hand, yet my mind told me that his face made false report of it. His clothes made false report of it. There's something in his face. Oh, I know not how to term it. He's simply the rarest man in all the world. Oh, why, he's so made on here all within. Asked no questions by the center, set at the upper end of the table, as if it was air and sun to Mars. The senators stand bald before him, and our general makes himself a mistress of him, sanctifies him with his hands, and turns up the whites of his eyes to his discourse. The bottom of the news is that our general is cut in the middle and but one half of what he was yesterday. The other has the half. Oh, he'll go and cowl the porter of Rome's gates by the ears, mow down all before him, and leave his passage polled. And when they see his crest up again, the man in blood, they will out of their burrows like toadies after rain and make all revel with him. Oh, and then we shall have a stirring world again. Peace is nothing but to rust irons, increase tailors, and breed ballad makers. Let me have war, I say. It exceeds peace as day doth night, and very sprightly, audible, waking, full of vent. Peace is a very apoplexy, lethargy, mulled, dull, sleepy, a getter of more bastard children than war, a destroyer of men. Oh, they're rising. Oh, they're rising.
We hear not of him, neither need we fear him. His remedies are tame in the present peace and quietness of the people, which before were in wild hurry.
We stood to it in good time. Oh, is this Menenius?
Ah, 'tis he. He's grown most kind of late.
Hail, sir.
Hail to you both.
Why, Lord Coriolanus is not much missed, but with his friends. The Commonwealth doth stand, and so would do were he more angry at it. Where is he? Hear you?
Nay, I hear nothing. His wife and mother hear nothing from him.
This is a happier and more comely time than when these fellows ran about the streets crying confusion.
Caius Marcius was a worthy officer in the war, but insolent, o'ercome with pride, ambitious past all thinking, self-loving.
And affecting one sole throne without assistance?
I think not so.
We should by this, to all our lamentation, if he had gone forth consul, found it so.
Well, the gods have well prevented it, huh? And Rome sits safe and still without it.
Worthy tribunes, there is a slave whom we have put in prison. Reports the Volscians with 2 several powers are entered in the Roman territories, and with the deepest malice of the war, destroy what lies before him.
'Tis Aufidius.
Go see this rumor a whipped. It cannot be the Volscians dare brave with us.
Cannot be. We have record that very well it can. 3 examples of the like have been within my age. But reason with the fellow before you punish him where he heard this, lest you chance to whip your information and beat the messenger that bids beware of what it is to be dreaded.
Tell not me, I know this cannot be.
Not possible.
The nobles are in great earnestness, going all to the capital. Some news there it has come that turns their countenances.
'Tis this slave. Go whip him for the people's eyes. His raising, nothing but his report.
Yes, worthy sirs, the slave's report is seconded, and more fearful is delivered.
What more fearful?
It hath been spoke out of many mouths, how probable I do not know, that Marcius, now joined with Aufidius, is to leads a power against Rome, and vows revenge as spacious as between youngest and oldest thing.
This is most likely.
And raised only so that the weaker sort may wish good Marcius home again.
The very trick on.
This is unlikely. He and Aufidius can no more atone than violence is contrary.
You are sent for to the Senate. A fearful army led by Caius Marcius in association with Aufidius rages upon our territories and have already o'erborne their way, consumed by fire into the lake floor.
Oh, you have made good work.
What news? What news?
You have hope to ravish your own daughters and melt the city leads upon your pates. To see your wives dishonored to your noses.
What's the news? What's the news?
Temples burned to their cement and your franchises whereon you stood confined into an augur's hole.
Pray now, your news. You have made fair work, fear me, if Marcius be joined with the Volscians.
He is their god. He leads them like a thing made by some deity other than nature that shapes man better. And they follow him against us brats with no less confidence than boys pursuing summer butterflies or butchers killing flies.
You have made good work.
He will shake your Rome about your ears.
You have made fair work!
Oh, but is this true?
Aye!
And you look pale before you find it other. All the regions do smilingly revolt, and who resist are mocked for valiant ignorance and perish constant fools. Who can blame him? Your enemies and his find something in him.
We are all undone, unless the noble man have mercy.
Who shall ask it? The tribunes cannot do it for shame. The people deserve such pity of him as the wolf deserves of the shepherds.
This is
his best friends, if they should say be good to Rome, they charge him as should one who has deserved his hate, and therein showed like enemies.
This is true. If we were putting to my house the brand that should consume it, I have not the face to say, beseech you, cease. You have made fair hands. You and your crafts. You have crafted fair.
You have brought a trembling upon Rome, such as was never so incapable of help.
Say not, we brought.
How? Was it we? We loved him, but like beasts or cowardly nobles, gave way unto your clusters, who did hoot him out of the city.
I fear they'll roar him in again. Tullus Aufidius, the second name of man, obeys his points as if he were his officer. Desperation is all the policy, strength, and defense that Rome can make against them.
Here come your clusters. If you could burn us all into one coal, we have deserved it.
Think we hear fearful news.
For my part, when I said 'twas to banish him, I said 'twas a shame.
So did I.
So did I.
And so did I. And to say the truth, so did very many of us. What we did for the best.
Aye.
And, though we consented to his banishment, 'twas not of our own free will.
Aye.
Things he voices.
You have made fair work, you and your cries. Shouts to the capital.
Go, masters, get you home, and be not dismayed. These are a side that would be glad to have this true, which they so seem to fear. Go home and show no sign of fear.
Gods be good to us, we will home. I for myself said it was a shame when he was banished.
So did I.
Yeah.
I do not like this news. Let's to the capital. I would have my wealth would buy this for a lie.
Do they still fly to the Roman?
I do not know what witchcraft's in him, but your soldiers use them as their grace for meat, their popular table, and their things of end. And people are darkened in this action, sir, even by your own.
I cannot help it now, unless by using means I lame the foot of our design. He holds himself more proudly, or even to my person, than I thought he would when first I did embrace him, yet his nature in that's no changeling, and I must excuse what cannot be amended.
Yet I wish, sir, I mean for your particular, you had not joined in condition with him, but had either borne the action of yourself, or else to him had left it solely.
I understand thee well, and be thou sure when he shall come to his account, he knows not what I can urge against him. Although it seems, and so he thinks, and is no less apparent to the vulgar eye, that he bears all things fairly, shows good husbandry to the Volscian state, fights dragon-like, and does achieve as soon as draw his sword, yet he hath left undone that which shall break his neck, or hazard mine, whenever we come to our account.
Sir, I beseech you, think you he'll carry Rome?
All places yield to him, ere he sits down. And the nobility of Rome are his. The senators and patricians love him too. The tribunes are not soldiers, and they'll be as rash in the repeal, as hasty to expel him thence. I think he'll be to Rome as is the osprey to the fish, who takes it by sovereignty of nature. First he was a noble servant to them, but he could not carry his honors even, whether 'twas pride, which out of daily fortune ever taints the happy man, whether defect of judgment, to fail in those chances which he was lord over, or whether nature, not to be other than one thing, not moving from the cask to the cushion, but commanding peace, even with the same austerity and garb as he did control the war. But one of these, for yet spices of them all, not all, for I dare so far free him, made him feared, so hated and so banished. Yet he has a merit to choke it in the utterance. And so our virtues lie in the interpretation of the time, and power unto itself most commendable hath not a tune so evident as a chair to extol what it hath done. One fire drives out one fire. One nail, rights by rights falter, strengths by strengths do fail. Come, let's away. When, Caius, Rome is thine, thou art poorest of all, then shortly art thou mine.
No, I'll not go. You hear what he hath said, which was sometime his general, who loved him in a most dear particular. He called me father. But what of that? Go, you that banished him, a mile before his tent fall down, and knead the way to his mercy. If he coyed to speak with Cominius, I'll keep at home.
He would not seem to know me.
Do you hear?
Yet one time he did call me by my name. I urged our old acquaintance, and the drops we bled together. Coriolanus he would not answer to, forbade all names. He was a kind of nothing, titleless, till he had forged himself a name in the fire of burning Rome. I minded him how royal 'twas to pardon when it was less expected. He said it was a bare petition of a state to one whom they had punished.
Very well. Could he say less?
I offered to awaken his regard for his private friends. His answer to me was, he could not seem to pick them in a pile of noisome, musty chaff. He said 'twas folly for one poor grain or two to leave unburnt, yet still to nose the offense.
For one poor grain or two? I am one of those. His mother, his wife, his child, this brave fellow too. We are the grains, and you are the musty chaff. You are smelt above the moon. We must be burnt for you.
Pray you, go to him.
What should I do?
Only make trial what your love can do for Rome.
Why?
Marcius.
Why? And say, Marcius, return me, as Cominius is returned, unhurt. And what then? But as a discontented friend, grief shot with his unkindness? Think you so?
Yet your goodwill must have that thanks from Rome, after the measure as you intended well.
I'll undertake him. Think he'll hear me. But to bite his lip and hum at good Cominius, this unhearts me.
You know the road into his kindness. You cannot lose your way.
Good faith, I'll prove him. Speed how it will. I shall ere long have knowledge of my success.
You'll never hear him.
Not?
I tell you, he does sit in gold. His eye red as 'twould burn Rome. And the injury, the jailer, to his pity. I kneeled before him, and 'twas very faintly he said, "Rise," and dismissed me thus, with speechless hand. What he would do, he sent in writing after me. What he would not, bound with an oath to yield to his conditions. So, all hope is vain.
Are you?
Stand and go back.
You guard like men, 'tis well, but by your leave, I am an officer of the state, and come to speak with Coriolanus.
From whence?
From Rome.
You may not pass, you must return. Our general will no more hear from Venice.
You'll see your Rome graced with fire before you'll speak of Coriolanus.
My good friends, if you have heard thy general speak of Rome and of his friends there, and his lots of blanks, my name hath touched your ears. It is Menenius.
Be it so, go back. The virtue of your name is not here passable.
I tell you, fellow, I am thy general's lover, and have been the book of his good acts, whence men have read his name, unparalleled, happily amplified.
Howsoever you have been his liar, as you say, I am one that, telling true under him, must say, you cannot pass, therefore go back.
You are a Roman, are you?
I, as thy general is.
Then you should hate Rome as he does. Can you, when you have pushed out your gates, the very defender of them, and in a violent popular ignorance given your enemy your shield, think to front his revenges with the easy groans of old women, the virginal palms of your dotard, or with the palsied intercession of such a decayed dotard as you seem to be? Can you think to blow out the intended fire your city is set to flame in with such weak breath as this? No, you are deceived. Therefore, back to Rome and prepare for your execution. You are condemned. Our general has sworn you out of reprieve and pardon.
Nay, but fellow.
What's the matter?
Glorious God, sit in hourly synod about thy particular prosperity, and love thee no less than thy old father Menenius does. Oh, my son, thou art preparing fire for us. Here's water to quench it. I was hardly moved to come to thee, but being assured none but myself could move thee, I have been blown out of your gates with sighs, and conjure thee to pardon Rome and thy petitionary countrymen. The good gods assuage thy wrath, and turn the dregs of it upon this varlet here, whom like a block denies my access to thee.
Away.
How away?
wife, mother, child, I know not. My affairs are servited to others, though I owe my revenge properly. The remission lies in Volscian breasts, that we have been familiar in great forgetfulness shall poison rather than pity no town much. But yet I loved thee. Take this along. I writ it for thy sake, and for thy sake would have rent it. Another word, Menenius, I will not hear thee speak. This man, Aufidius, was my beloved in Rome, yet thou beholdst.
You keep a constant temper.
Now, sir, is your name Menenius?
It's a spell you see of much power. You know your way home again.
Do you hear how we are shanked for keeping your greatness back?
What cause do you think have I to swoon?
I no longer care for thy general or for the world. For such things as you, I can scarce think there's any. You're so slight.
A noble fellow, I warned him.
The nobler fellows are general. He's the rock, the oak not to be windshaken.
We will, before the gates of Rome tomorrow, set down our host. My partner in this action, you must report to the Volscian lords how plainly I have bore the business.
Only their ends you have respected. Stopped your ears against the general suit of Rome. Not admitting a private whisper, no. Not with such friends that thought them sure of you.
This last man whom with cracked heart I have sent back to Rome loved me beyond the measure of a father, nay, guarded me indeed. Fresh suits and embassies, nor from the state, nor from our private friends, hereafter will we lend ear to.
See yon coin of the Capitol, yon cornerstone?
Why? What of that?
If it be possible for you to displace it with your little finger, then there is some hope that the ladies of Rome may prevail with him. But I say there's no hope in it. Our throats are sentenced and stay upon execution.
Is it possible that so short a time can alter the condition of a man?
There's a difference between a butterfly and a grub. But your butterfly, what's a grub? This Marcius is turned from man to dragon. He has wings. He's more than a creeping thing.
He loved his mother dearly.
Aye. So did he me. He no more remembers her than an 8-year-old horse. Mark what mercy she shall bring from him. There is no more mercy in him than there is milk in a male tiger. This shall our poor city find, and all of this is long of you.
The gods be good unto us!
No! In such a case as this, the gods will not be good unto us! When we banished him, we respected not them. You returning to break our necks, they respect not us.
Sir, if you would save your life, fly to your house. The plebeians have got your fellow tribune and hail him up and down, all swearing, if the Roman ladies bring not comfort home, they'll give him death by inches.
Shall I be tempted to infringe my vow? I'll never be such a gosling to obey instinct, but stand as if man were author of himself and knew no other kin.
My lord and husband!
These are not the same eyes I wore in Rome.
The sorrows that delivered us thus changed makes you think so.
Like a dull actor now, I have forgot my part, and am out even to my full disgrace. Best of my flesh. Forgive me my tyranny, but do not say for that, forgive all Romans. Oh, kiss, as long as my exile, as sweet as my revenge. You gods, I prate and leave the most noble mother in the world unsaluted. Sink knees to the earth, of deep duty more impression show than that of common sons.
Oh, stand up, blessed. Whilst I, with no softer cushion than the flint, kneel before thee, and improperly show duty which was mistaken all this while between the child and parent.
What is this? Your need to me, to your corrected son.
I hope to frame thee. Do you know this lady?
Dear sister of Publicula, moon of Rome, chaste as is an icicle on Diana's temple, dear Valeria.
Even we, your wife, this lady, and myself are suitors to you.
I beseech you, peace. Or if you'll ask, remember this before. The thing I have forsworn to grant can never be held by you denials. Do not bid me dismiss my soldiers. Do not ask me again to capitulate with Rome's mechanics. Do not tell me wherein I seem unnatural. Do not desire to ally my rages and revenges with your colder wisdom.
No more, no more. You have said you will not grant us anything. For we have nothing else to ask but that which you deny already, yet we will ask. That if you fail in our request, the blame may hang upon your hardness. Therefore hear us.
Aufidius, and you Volscians mark, for we'll hear not from Rome in private. Your request.
Should we be silent and not speak? Whereto we are bound together with thy victory, whereto we are bound. Alack, or we must lose the country, our dear nurse, or else thy person, our comfort in the country. We must find an evident calamity, though we had our wish which side should win, for either thou must, as a foreign recreant, be led with manacles through our streets, or else triumphantly tread upon thy country's ruin, and bear the palm for having bravely shed thy wife and children's blood. For myself, son, I purpose not to wait on fortune till these wars determine. If I cannot persuade thee, rather to show a noble grace to both sides than to seek the end of one, thou shalt no sooner march to assault thy country than to tread just to it. Thou shalt not on thy mother's womb that brought thee to this world.
I and mine, that brought forth your son to keep your name living.
I have sat too long.
Nay, go not from us thus. If it were so that our request did tend to save the Romans, thereby to destroy the Volscians whom you serve, you might condemn us as poisonous of your honor. No, our suit is that you reconcile them. While the Volscians may say, this mercy we have showed, the Romans this we received. And each in either side give thee all hail to thee and cry, be blessed for making up this peace. Thou knowest great son. The end of war is uncertain, but this certain, that if thou shalt conquer Rome, the benefit which thou shalt thereby reap is such a name whose repetition will be dogged with curses, whose chronicle thus writ, the man was noble, but with his last attempt he wiped it out, destroyed his country, and his name remains to the ensuing age abhorred. Why dost not speak? Think'st thou it honorable for a noble man still to remember wrongs? No man in the world's more bound to his mother, yet here he lets me prate like one in the stocks. Thou hast never in thy life shown thy dear mother any courtesy. And she, poor hen, fond of no second brood, has clutched thee to the wars and safely home, loaden with honor. Say my requests unjust. Spurn me back. But if it be not so, thou art not honest, and the gods will plague thee that thou restrainst from me the duty to which a mother's part belongs. No! Down, ladies! Let us shame him with our knees! To his surname, Coriolanus, longs more crime than pity to our prayers. Down. An end. This is the last. So we will home to Rome and die among our neighbors. Come, let us go. This fellow had a Volscian to his mother. His wife is in Corioli, and his child like him by chance. Yet give us our dispatch. I am hushed until our city be afire, and then I'll speak aloud.
Oh, mother, mother, what have you done? Hold the heavens open. The gods look down, and this unnatural scene they laugh at. Oh, my mother, oh! You have won a happy victory to Rome. But for your son, believe it, oh, believe it. Most dangerously you have with him prevailed, if not most mortal to him. But let it come. Aufidius, though I cannot make true wars, I'll frame convenient peace. Now, good Aufidius, were you in my stead, would you have heard a mother less, or granted less, Aufidius?
I was moved withal.
I dare be sworn you were. And sir, it is no little thing to make mine eyes sweat compassion. What peace you will make, advise me. For my part, I will not to Rome, I will back with you, and pray you, sir, stand to me in this cause. Oh, mother. Wife.
I am glad thou hast set thy honor and thy difference at difference in thee. Out of that I'll make myself a thorn of fortune. Most welcome.
How is it with our general?
Even so as with a man by his own alms empoisoned, and with his charity slain.
My most noble lord, if you do hold the same intent where you wished us parties, will deliver you of your great danger.
I know it, and my pretext to strike at him admits a good construction. I raised him, and I pawned mine honor for his truth, who, being so heightened, he watered his new plans with dews of flattery, seducing so my friends, and to this end he bowed his nature. Never known before, but to be rough, unswayable, and free.
Sir, his stoutness when he stood for consul, which he lost by lack of stooping.
That I would have spoke of. Being banished for it, he came unto my hearth, presented to my knife his throat. I took him, made him joint servant with me, gave him way in all his own desires, nay, let him choose out of my files his projects to accomplish, my best and freshest men, served his designs in mine own person, and took some pride to do myself this wrong. Till, at the last, I seemed his follower, not partner, and he did wage me in his countenance, as if I had been mercenary.
Indeed you did, my lord. The army marveled at it. And, at the last, when he had carried Rome, and we looked for no less spoil than glory,
There was it, for which my sinews shall be stretched upon him. And a few drops of women's rheum, which are as cheap as lies, he sold the blood and labor of our great action. Therefore he shall die, and I'll renew me in this fall. But hark, here come the lords.
You are most welcome, sir.
I have not yet deserved it. But, worthy lords, have you with heed pursued what I have written to you?
We have, and grieved to hear it. What faults he made before the last, I think might have found easy finds. But there to end where he was to begin, and give away the benefit of our levies, answering us with our own charge, making a treaty where there was a yielding. This admits no excuse.
He approaches. You shall hear him.
Hail, lords! I am returned your soldier, no more infected with my country's love than when I parted hence, but still subsisting under your great command. You are to know that prosperously I have led, and with bloody passage taken your wars even to the gates of Rome. The spoils we have brought home do more than counterpoise a full third part the charges of the action. We have made peace with no less honor to the Antiochites than shame to the Romans. And we have here, together with the seal of their Senate, subscribed by their consuls and patricians, what we have compounded on.
Read it not, noble lords. But tell the traitor, in the highest degree, he has abused your powers.
How now, traitor?
Aye, traitor Marcius.
Marcius.
I, Marcius, Caius Marcius. Dost thou think I'll grace thee with that robbery? Thy stolen name, Coriolanus, in Corioli? You lords and heads of the state, perfidiously, he has betrayed your business, and for certain drops of salt, betrayed and given up your city, Rome. I say your city, to his wife and mother, breaking his oath and resolution like a twist of rotting silk, never admitting counsel of war. But at his nurse's tears, he whined and roared away your victory, that pages blushed at him, and men of heart looked wondering.
Give you this Mars!
Name not the god, thou boylet. No more.
Oh, measureless liar, thou hast made my heart too great for what contains it. Boy! Oh, slave! If you have writ your annals true, 'tis there that like an eagle in a dovecote, I fluttered your Volscians and Corioli alone!
my noble masters, hear me speak.
Oh, Tullus,
Thou hast done a deed whereat valor will weep.
Tread not upon him. My worthy lords, when you shall know, as in this rage provoked by him you cannot, the great danger which this man's life did owe you, you'll rejoice that he is thus cut off. Please it, your honors, to call me to your senate. I'll deliver myself, your loyal servant, or endure your heaviest censure.
bear from hence his body, and mourn you for him. Let him be regarded as the most noble course that ever herald did follow to his urn.
His own impatience takes from Aufidius much of the blame. We must make the best of it.
My rage is gone, and I am struck with sorrow. Take him up. 3 of the chiefest soldiers, all be one. Beat thou the drum that it speak mournfully. Trail your steel pipes. Though in this city he hath widowed and unchilded many a one, yet to this hour bewail the injury. Yet he shall have a noble memory. Assist.
Behold, our patroness, the life of Rome. Call all your tribes together, praise the gods, and make triumphant fires. Strew flowers before them, unshout the noise that banished Marcius. Repeal him with the welcome of his mother. Cry, welcome, ladies, welcome.
I have your attention for a slight second. I don't generally like curtain call speeches, but this occasion it felt necessary. As you know, this is our 10th annual alumni production, June production. Though alumni did shows before that and have many other traditions. Our unrehearsed Shakespeare's, our original works festivals, 24-hour plays, touring school shows. It's a joy for us to have. Not only because we get to come back and see old friends year after year, but we get to make new ones as the alumni now span a decade and a half. But no matter what company it is, we're automatically bonded by a shared love of this theater and the experiences we've had in it. It's taken a lot of hard work from a lot of alumni over the last 10 years to keep this tradition going. But there has really only been one constant, one force that has played an active part in every single alumni production, and without whom these traditions would have never continued and probably wouldn't have started anyway. And that person is Jessica Gelter. For coming, and mark your calendars because we hope to be back this same time next year.